Video 8. Let's do it. I think this time we're actually going to add something to the map and not just worry about stuff in our modal. But you gotta admit, it looks pretty cool, pretty clean, consistent with the styling of the remainder of that project. So what I want to do is just add some GeoJSON, and if we go look at map boxes, add a GeoJSON polygon, it's pretty straightforward. You need a source for your data, and then you need to add a layer using that name, the name of that source, whatever you want to give it. We'll dynamically change the name of our source files and layer names. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy. However, the hard part is keeping track of everything as you add it, so that you can remove things individually or edit them or whatever. Just keeping track of things. So I'm simply going to attach an event so that when we click on the little search bar here, it'll throw that polygon onto main, and then we'll kind of just go from there with what we do. So let's write a function to do that. So function add layer, maybe, and then right click, format document. And if you don't have a format library or add-on installed, I feel sorry for you. So this is just a hard coded source. It's called main. What type is it? GeoJSON. You can read all the JSON, and it's just a polygon that surrounds that state main. And so we basically create our data source with this add source, and then we add the layer using that ID. Well, the ID is unique to the layer, but the source is the ID of this source that we created up here. Okay, so this function does one thing. It's hard-coded. We'll work on that later. Just proof of concept here. So let's add a click event, and eventually we're going to have to clean up our code so that it makes sense. Why am I typing when I just cut and paste? Alright, so when we click on search state, I just want to call my function add a layer. And like I said, later we'll tell it which layer to add and what to add. But for now, as it reloads, hope that doesn't mess with us. When I click, it's gonna mess with us. Yes, it is. So, oh, duh. I know better, guys. So when we click on our search box, main shows up. So if I zoom in, there it is, right there. Pretty simple, right? Okay. So, well, how do we make that work when it comes to our search bar, our search box? What if I want to add Tennessee or Texas or Washington? So when I click and choose a state, I want to go get the bounding box, and we could do the same thing with polygons, but I need to go grab the bounding box and display that over whatever state I'm in. I'm deciding if I should do that now or in the next video. This has been pretty short, so let's do that. So if we click search state, what do we want to do? We need to grab the state name out of the input box. So there's a couple of things we need to fix here even, right? When I click on Washington, it should populate this input box with Washington and then clean this out. So maybe let's work on that for right now. So if I click on, which one is that? This is the pick state. It's not the input, it's actually the state picker, right? It's the select box. So select state. So if I click on state select, do we already have a click method on that? No. No, what we're really doing is just hiding it, emptying it out, showing it. So let's do a click method for that. And I'm not adding comments yet either. So if we click, and usually if we click, we're going to, we have a state we're picking, right? And of course, if I click on something that's not there and it's empty, I want to handle that. But for right now, checking for errors is a little low in the totem pole. So how do I get the items that is actually being selected in that that select box? I'm asking like I can hear you guys answer if you were to answer. So there's a jQuery way of doing that. So if we click on pick state or state select, we can look for options selected, meaning which one's highlighted, and then we get the text out of that. And for now, we'll just log it to a console. Console.log, whatever state we pick. Save that. Let's go look. Alright, so I start typing, we pick Maryland, and we echoed out Maryland. Okay, so now that I can grab the state name, wait, so we can stick it into the input box. I'm trying to think 4 steps ahead, sorry. So we grab the one we want, and so now the pick state input box, let's take that value and stick it into that input box. So the value gets the state. We don't need to log it out. Then maybe what we could do is hide the drop down with the select options in it, and I don't know if it refreshed. It might have. So then M, Massachusetts, there we go. So now when I click search, we got Maine. I'm kidding. That was hard-coded. Alright, so now if I click search, here we say add layer, right? But it's hard-coded for Maine. And it's a polygon, not a bounding box. So we're going to have some issues with our bounding box stuff, but that's okay. We'll fix them as we go. So let's do this for right now. So when I click on the state, it populates the input box with the state there, and then when I click on search, we want to go get the bounding box for that state and display it on the map, and then like zoom the map and do all of those cool things. Alright, so when I click right now, it just does the add layer. Okay, well maybe when I click, what we should do is not add the layer yet, but we should run a get method. Let's copy this whole thing and go get us a bounding box. So we don't need this. In fact, let me just get rid of almost everything. And so what am I getting? Well, if we go look, my API I don't think you can see that. Now you can. So I have a route created. I think I showed you in the last video or two. That gives me a bounding box for a state. Okay. Well, if I want to filter that, I can just pass in a parameter, which will give me a specific state. There's Texas. So let's copy this. I'm going to scoot this back up and go look at our code. So state is equal to, and then so we need to get the state. What is state? Let state equal, well, we're going to get the value from pick state. And just as a reminder, remember, if you put a value, if there is something inside this method, it'll put it in the text box. If you call this without anything, it returns the value that's already there. So now we can take this, place it there, and then let's log out the data we get. Okay, if I save that, go view our page, pick a state, hit search, and there's our bounding box. Why did we have two results? Okay, that was the results from the drop down, and then this one is the results from our bounding box search. So now I have the information I need to display. I just need to display it. Well, how do I display it? Well, I need to display some GeoJSON source, but again, this is a polygon, and we're gonna at first just display a line string, and I think I'm gonna do that in the next video. I don't know how long this one is, but just interim summary. What did we do? We captured the, man, I am not with it. We took the, holy moly, I'm gonna have to cut this out. I totally forgot what we just did. Oh, we displayed main, right, by attaching a hard-coded function that we click the search button with, and it displayed main. And then we're going to use that function in a little bit. We'll tailor it. But then what we did was capture the value in our state input box, so that when we click search, we actually get the bounding box for whatever state we're looking up. And next time we'll replace this data with the bounding box data and display it on the map. See you guys in a minute.